Hello once again and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Midday News and Global Television, which is coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Amina Jibril. Now a quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Ichcomsat. As air component intensifies strikes in terrorist enclaves, troops of 1 Brigade, Sector 2 Joint Task Force Northwest, Operation Fansanyama, have neutralized calls of terrorists, including a notorious terrorist kingpin, Sani Rusu, in Zamfara State. In a statement by the coordinator of the Joint Media Coordination Center for Operation Fansanyama, Lieutenant Colonel Abubakar Abdullahi, the troops conducted a fighting patrol to Bamamu village in Safi local government area on January 4, 2025, where they encountered the terrorist and consequently neutralized the notorious kingpin, destroying their enclaves and recovering cache of arms. On the same day, the troops, during an ambush operation based on credible intelligence regarding terrorist activities at Kwanarjalov in Shinkafi local government area, they neutralized some terrorists, leaving some of them with fatal injuries and recovering 1 AK-47 rifle and 1 G3 rifle, 3 magazines and 3 motorcycles, among others. And the Niger State government has said that until the military gives an order of areas suspected to have mines planted by terrorists and farms along the fringes of Bassa in Shiroro local government area of Niger State, the locals should continue to restrict their movement to avert explosions. The State Commissioner for Homeland Security, Bello Abdullahi, stated this in Mina shortly after the 2024 Base Socio-Cultural Activities, Bassa, held at the 013 Quick Response Force, Nigerian Air Force, Mina. According to Abdullahi, the military must first clear the areas of mines before locals can safely move around, noting that terrorists have begun planting bombs, indicating a heightened military efforts to eliminate terrorist and bandit activities in the region. And at least 20 people, including a pregnant woman, 4 children, and a couple, have been seriously injured in a gas explosion that occurred in the Arazi axis of Port Harcourt. The incident took place near a densely populated area, causing panic among residents and passers-by. Reports say the explosion occurred at a gas refilling shop when a technician attempting to repair a faulty cylinder accidentally triggered the blast. Several victims reportedly sustained severe burns and were immediately rushed to the Rivers State University Teaching Hospital for treatment. And the Ondo State Governor, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, has declared a 3-day mourning and prayers in honor of the State Secretary to the government, SSG Tayo Oluwatuyi. Aiyedatiwa, who led members of the State Executive Council on a condolence visit to the wife of the late Oluwatuyi and members of his family in Akure, promised support as he declared a 3-day mourning and prayers from 5th January to 7th January. Oluwatuyi died on Saturday while receiving treatment in the hospital after a car accident. Also in the news, the Lagos State government has disclosed that the enforcement of the ban on single-use plastics, SUPs, will commence in the next 2 weeks. The Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources, Tokumbo Wahab, disclosed this while inspecting flood-prone areas and all ongoing projects as well as new ones at Lagos Island and its environs. Wahab in December 2024 said the ban on the usage of styrofoam and SUPs for packaging was banned, stating that enforcement would commence from January 2025, following the increase in prevalence of plastic waste and its negative effect on the environment in recent years. And now in education, the West African Examination Council, WAEC, has announced a new initiative which will allow students to receipt their WASE papers as early as January and February 2025. This marks a significant shift from the previous system where candidates had to wait for the next private examination cycle. Head of Public Affairs at WAEC, John Kapi, disclosed this, explaining that the new program referred to as WASE PC1 provides a faster route for students to improve their grades. According to him, To aid candidates in their preparations, WAEC plans to expedite the release of chief examiners' reports to provide detailed feedback on where students may have gone wrong and how they can better approach their studies and the examination process. And President Bola Tinubu will today depart Lagos for Accra, the capital of the Republic of Ghana, to attend the inauguration of President-elect John Dramani Mahama on January 7th. This was contained in a statement by the President's Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga. According to the statement, President Tinubu's trip to Accra is at the invitation of the President-elect who had visited the Nigerian leader earlier in December. Mahama, who served as the 12th president of Ghana between 2011 and 2017, was re-elected in December 2024 and will succeed President Nana Akufo-Addo. Also in the news, the Northern Elders Forum has reiterated its opposition to the federal government's proposed tax reform bills, demanding their immediate suspension and calling for extensive dialogue with stakeholders. The forum criticized the federal government for failing to engage critical stakeholders and experts before drafting the reforms. In a press statement released and signed by its management board chairman, Al-Amin Dagash, the northern stakeholders outlined the potential adverse effect of the reforms on northern Nigeria and the country as a whole. Meanwhile, some senior lawyers in the country have disagreed over the prosecution of judges who were recently recommended for compulsory retirement for falsifying their ages. The National Judicial Council, under the chairmanship of the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Kekere-Ekun, had in a statement disclosed that two heads of court had been recommended for compulsory retirement over age falsification. Recall that the Chief Judge of Imo State High Court, Justice T.E. Chukwuemeka Chikeka, was recommended for compulsory retirement, while the NJC also directed the Grand Cadi of Yobe State, Babagana Mahdi, who had 3 different dates of birth, to go on compulsory retirement. You're watching the live broadcast of Midday News, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. When the news returns, bird flu outbreak strikes Japan farms. We shall bring you details as well as business and foreign stories right after this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back and thank you for staying tuned. If you're just joining, it is Midday News and Global Television coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. A civil society organization, the Movement for Anti-Corruption, Integrity and Transparency Initiative, has criticized former President Olusegun Obasanjo for his recent remarks about state-owned refineries and the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited, NNPCL. The group, in a statement signed by its national president, Goodway Jackson, and Secretary General Muhammad Kuda, alleged that the former president's comments were driven by personal grievances stemming from the reversal of refinery privatizations during his administration. They added that Obasanjo's persistent criticism of state refineries was influenced by his failed attempt to privatize them before leaving office in 2007. Hence, they urged him to set aside personal grievances and contribute constructively to the nation's oil sector, emphasizing the need for support rather than undermining state-owned enterprises. And the Arewa Youth Assembly has called on the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, to adhere to federal character principles in its handling of the ongoing mass voluntary retirement within the institution. The group voiced its concerns over the perceived targeting of northern employees, describing the move as anti-North and a threat to national unity. In a statement issued in Kaduna by the Assembly's Speaker, Mohammed El-Lami, the group criticized the CBN's approach, alleging that the institution was coercing employees into retiring voluntarily and termed the process as grossly unethical. In the same vein, former staff of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, who were sacked in a mass retrenchment in 2024 are seeking justice while demanding fair compensation. The former CBN employees, represented by Stephen Ghana and 32 others in the pursuit of justice, filed the class action lawsuits at the National Industrial Court of Nigeria, NICN, in Abuja, accusing the Apex Bank of violating internal policies, Nigerian labor laws, and their contractual rights. The court's documents claim that the termination of employment issued through letters titled Reorganizational and Human Capital Restructuring contravened Section 36 of the Nigerian Constitution and the CBN Human Resources Policies and Procedures Manual. The claimants argued that the process lacked the required consultations and feared hearing mandated by law, and are therefore seeking judicial declarations that the terminations are null, void, and of no effect. They therefore demanded their immediate reinstatement and payment of salaries and benefits from the date of termination, and have asked for a restraining order against any further attempt by the Apex Bank to dismiss them without following due process. So some business news: bearing any last-minute change, marketers and retailers of petroleum products will start lifting premium malted spirits, PMS, also known as petrol, from the Port Harcourt Refining Company this week. The publicity secretary of the Petroleum Products Retail Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria, Petroan, Joseph Obele, disclosed this, saying since the refinery commenced operations in November, it has been supplying fuel to retail outlets owned by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, only. Though marketers still load fuel from the NNPCL, Obele clarified that the product marketers currently buy from the state-owned oil company were imported. He expressed concerns that the NNPCL was selling PMS to retailers in Port Harcourt at prices higher than that of Lagos State, pleading that the refinery should sell at 899 naira per litre instead of 970 naira. A report saying Nigerians have lamented that despite the reduction in the price of petrol, transporters have failed to effect a reduction in transport fares nationwide. This is coming after the Dangote refinery in December 2024 reduced the ex-day per price of its petrol from 917 naira to 899 naira 50 kobo per litre, which sparked intense pricing competition in the downstream sector, forcing the NNPCL to reduce its ex-day per price to 899 naira per litre. However, Nigerians have lamented that though there is a reduction in the petrol price, transporters have failed to reflect the change in the transport fare. And the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, may continue servicing its crude for loan obligations till 2029 as the demand for oil by domestic refineries increases. NNPCL's debt burden arises from several crude for loan agreements that have tied volumes of the country's oil production to various financial commitments. This is as the local demand for crude has continued to rise following the coming on stream of the Port Harcourt and Warri refineries alongside the mega $20 billion Dangote Petroleum refinery located in Lagos. And the Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund, NSITF, has developed a comprehensive program for the integration of the informal sector in the Employees Compensation Scheme, ECS. NSITF Managing Director Oluwaseyin Faleye confirmed this in a statement by the NSITF General Manager, Corporate Affairs, Nwachukwu Ngige, saying the fund will tap into the immense potential of the informal economy in broadening access to its social safety net in line with the poverty alleviation agenda of the federal government. He also said that the national economy would benefit greatly if artisans, traders, and other small service providers were brought into the safety net of the ECS, noting that such move will drive national productivity and combat poverty. And now we move on to the foreign scene, where Germany has launched a new online platform to simplify the visa application process for Nigerians and other African countries seeking to work, study, or join family members in the country. Germany's Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock described the online visa application portal as a positive development that will help the country meet its demands for skilled workers, accessible globally as part of a broader effort to modernize the immigration process and address Germany's pressing shortage of skilled workers. The portal allows applicants to select from 28 categories of national visas and is available to all 167 German visa offices worldwide. And thousands of South Koreans braved a snowstorm to rally in support or opposition of President Yoon Suk-yeol, suspended over a failed martial law bid and resisting arrest before the warrant expires. Yoon plunged the country into political chaos last month with the bungled martial law declaration and has since holed up in the presidential residence surrounded by hundreds of loyal security officers. An attempt to arrest him by investigators failed when the tense 6-hour standoff with his presidential security service ended over security fears, with his supporters also camped outside. Thousands descended on his residence again on Sunday despite bitter snow conditions blanketing the capital, with one camp demanding Yoon's arrest while the others called for his impeachment to be declared invalid. And Japanese authorities have begun calling up 50,000 chickens after a bird flu outbreak at a farm in the northern Iwate region. Agriculture Ministry said it is the 19th bird flu outbreak of the season in Japan. The ministry added that the latest farm reported increasing deaths of fowl, and test results confirmed that bird flu was the cause, prompting the calling up of 50,000 chickens. The region also banned the movement of 170,000 birds kept at 2 other farms within a 3-kilometer radius. A media report has indicated that the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau may resign amid growing dissent within his Liberal Party. According to reports, sources within Trudeau's party expect him to step down ahead of its National Caucus meeting on Wednesday. Trudeau's office declined to comment when contacted by AFP regarding the reports, but reports indicate, however, that if Trudeau resigns, his party would be left without a leader just months before the next legislative elections scheduled for the end of October. And out to the world of sports, former England striker Gary Lineker has lauded Alex Iwobi for his impressive displays for Fulham this season. The Nigerian international has played in different positions for the Whites in the 2024-2025 campaign and had his best ever goal contributions in the Premier League this term. Lineker claimed the 28-year-old has had a terrific campaign for the Whites. And Tottenham Hotspur have signed goalkeeper Antony Mckinski from Slavia Prague on a deal until 2031. Tottenham confirmed that the 21-year-old's move to Spurs is subject to receiving a work permit and international clearance. Kinski's signing adds to manager Agne Postecoglou's option in goal with first-choice goalkeeper Coglimo. And a stoppage time goal by forward Ousmane Dembele earned Paris Saint-Germain a 1-0 win over AS Monaco in the French Super Cup on Sunday as the Ligue 1 champions lifted the trophy for the 3rd consecutive season. PSG had 27 chances, 9 of them on target without breaking the deadlock before Fabian Ruiz sent a neat pass across the face of the goal for Dembele to net inside the far post. On that note, we wrap it up on Midday News on Global Television. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365, on Star Times channel 276, and free to air on Nigecomsat. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using @Global TV NG. I am Amina Jibril. Thank you for watching and have a good afternoon.